What's up, family and friends? Welcome to the Woke Nation. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great, having fun and enjoying your life as you ought to, as you need to, as you have to. Because you are real, you are a person. You are not a robot. You don't need to wait for anyone or anything to set you, to activate you. No, you do that yourself. You have the mind of your own to think for yourself and live your life well without fear or favor, and never faint in growing in knowledge and spreading the knowledge. Yes, I encourage you to always seek and spread knowledge, because in knowledge is your growth. Without knowledge, you cannot grow. Your growth is rooted in knowledge, not in belief, not in assumption, in knowledge. When you are armed with knowledge, no one can enslave you. When you are armed with knowledge, no one can deceive you. When you are armed with knowledge, no one can control you. When you are armed with knowledge, no one will put you down. You will live your life, you will not live the life of others. Some of us are living the life of our parents, the life of our friends, the life of our family members, but never their own lives or our lives. You have to live your life, enjoy your life. Remember, in this life, you're not going to be here the same way forever. You're going to die to be born again. But this life you have, how well are you living it? Why are you worried about the future? You are not there yet. Our people say, don't worry about the river. When we get there, we will cross it. Don't worry about the river. There is always a way. We can devise a way. We can come up with a means to cross it, because we have what it takes to do so as living beings, not invisible beings, not imaginary beings, not spiritual beings, not religious beings, but living beings, having life and the power to live it. So I want to speak on what I titled, Why Are We Crying? Mama Africa is crying. When will Mama Africa stop crying? Mama Africa is crying. And those who are beating Mama Africa love seeing Mama Africa crying. They love seeing us crying. Mama Africa is crying because they killed her husband and left her children destitute. Mama Africa is crying because they sold her children into slavery. Mama Africa is crying because they kidnapped her children and converted them to be Christians, Muslims, and Jews. Mama Africa is crying because they confuse their children, her children, with spirituality and religion. Mama Africa is crying just as the same way a child without parents, a child without food, a hungry child cries. Although the child is seated in plenty, but he can't make the food, he is crying. Yeah, the raw materials are there, the ingredients are there, but the food has not been cooked. So the child is crying. Why are we crying? And our oppressors love to see us cry. Remember, The first time we cried was because of invasion. Strangers invaded. They came as innocent people. They came as guests. They came as visitors. But at the back of their mind was plan to steal, to kill, and to destroy the very people that taught them everything, the very people that welcomed them, the very people that treated them as themselves. That evil plan was harsh, and we began to cry because of their wickedness, which is called wickedness of men. Not wickedness of Africans, it's called wickedness of men. Because the evil ones invaded and destroyed the natural way of living, a way of building great things for the betterment, for the enhancement of our living. They are destroyers, or they do present themselves as deliverers, or as helpers, as guests, but they are destroyers. They are demons. They come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. It is in their DNA. And when they succeeded in carrying out their evil plan, they even bought our brothers, promised them a lot of things just to be slave catchers, catching their brethren to be slaves, catching their brethren to live in slavery. And they are called ministers of God, ministers of Christ. Those who are preaching God to us in our land or in our communities, that we call pastors, reverend fathers, imams, high priests, chief priests, native doctors, and all that. They become the slave catchers. Instead of helping their brethren, they are catching them for the slave master who gave them imaginary God. They begin to worship Jehovah. They begin to worship Chukwokike Abiyama. They begin to worship Amadioha. They begin to worship Allah. They begin to worship Jehovah. They begin to worship Yahweh, but themselves. Some of them even believe that their ancestors were worshiping God before white men came. No, your ancestors never worshiped God before the Arabs and white men came. Your ancestors were worshiping themselves, honoring themselves, their ancestors, gods and goddesses, not just God, gods and goddesses. They honor them. They worship them. They respected them. That's what they did, not God. Our ancestors know nothing about one God. No, they know there is God and goddess, and they are gods and goddesses. No one was jealous among them. No one was evil among them. No one was creating evil among them. They were living a natural life, beautiful life. As I said earlier, nature caused no one, but spirituality and religion introduce curse among us. You can see parents now cursing their children, cursing their loved ones, because that's what spirituality taught them. That's what religion taught them. They taught them that there's a God that caused the people he created. There is a God that caused his children, so you should do the same way. God caused his children to teach them lessons. God caused his children to discipline them. Bullshit. How can you have all the power to fix your children? You end up cursing them instead of fixing them. And you are the one that made them originally. And you say, oh no, the enemy came when your children were sleeping. How about you? My people, spirituality is what brought our downfall. And religion is what keeping us away from going back to our root. African spirituality is not our way of life. It's a belief system. It's not a natural way of living. It's not a human way of living. It is a belief system. Just as religion is a belief system, but religion is foreign. Okay? So you that said you are against religion, but you uphold African spirituality, it's the same shit in different toilets. It's the same thing. Just because maybe they're not doing it in your own way doesn't mean, okay, their own way now is evil. Just look at religious people also. You see how they don't believe in other religion, but they are religious. They have their own religion, but they say, no, the other one is wrong. Yes. The same way you see people in African spirituality saying religion is wrong, and people in religion saying African spirituality is wrong. Both of them are wrong, because both of them is based on faith, fear, beliefs. They are not based on facts. They are based on experience, not on facts. Personal experience, not on facts. So you should understand why we are crying. Naturally, we have power. Mama Africa and Father Africa, they have power. It is a natural power. It's not a spiritual power. It is the power that can do the impossible. It is the power that can set free the captives. It's the power that can wipe away your tears, but they separated us. Today, Father Africa is in Sierra Leone, named by a white man, and Mother Africa is in Ghana. They can connect to unite and make that power what it is. What am I saying? Those my brothers in other parts of Africans, we are one. But they use spirituality and religion to divide us, to separate us. Once we are separated, we are weak. Once we are no longer with one another, we are weak. Now we can say, no, he's from that place in Africa and not from that place. He's from the east, I'm from the west. No, it was not so. That was not our originality. That division is what brought our destruction. Division that spirituality brought. Division that religion brought is why we have been destroyed. But as I've been saying, no condition is permanent. You should know why we are crying, why we are suffering in the whole world. Even in our own land, we are suffering and crying. Until you understand why, you will keep doing your trial and error. You keep saying, let us stay this way and see if it will work. Okay, let us appoint this leader and see if it will work. Okay, let us join this and see if it will work. We don't need to join anything. You don't need to join anyone. All we need is one another, family. We don't need them. We need us. We need ourselves. As a people, we are crying. Whether you are rich or poor, you know that we are crying. You say you believe there is God, there is higher power, can do all things. And you say you believe in that God, you worship that God. But you see your fellow human being killing you, killing your family members, shooting them, killing them systematically, killing them with virus, killing them with many things. Where is that supreme being you're talking about? Huh? Where is that Chukwokikabiama? Where is that God? Where is that Jehovah? Where is that Allah? All you have to give to me is blaming yourself again. Saying it's not their fault, it's your fault. Of course, it was your fault. That's why you say you believe in them. So why can't they help you, even with your fault? Are your fault greater than them? Is your fault greater than that God you worship? Is your fault greater than that Jesus you worship? Is your fault greater than that Amadioha you worship? Is your fault greater than that Chukwukabiama you worship? Is your fault greater than that Shango you worship? Is your fault greater than that Ogun you worship? Is your fault greater than that Oledumare you worship? Is your fault greater than that Allah you worship? Is your fault greater than that God, whatever you call that God you worship? Why can't that God help you in times of need? You are running helter-skelter. You know how you are struggling, suffering to make money, just to make an end meet, just to put food on your table, just to put money in your pocket, just to live as human being. And yet you will come bragging. Oh, I believe there is God. I believe God this, God that. Look at your life and tell me there is God. Then I will tell you that you are delusional. I will tell you you are stupid. Because if there is God, you won't be where you are today. If there is God, you will be suffering all that nonsense you're suffering today unnecessarily. You are suffering because there is no God. Government can shut down your business because there is no God. Government can shut down your church because there is no God. Government can shut down your gatherings because there is no God. Government can tell you to stay in your house and not come out because there is no God. If there is God, you wouldn't need government. If there is God, government will not tell you how to live. You must be free from spirituality. You must be free from religion. Jumping from religion to spirituality doesn't mean you are woke. It may mean you are awake, but you are not woke yet. Yeah, you are still snoring, you are still sleepwalking. Yeah, I don't believe in Jehovah, but I believe in Chukwukabiama. Bullshit. It's the same shit. I am not religious, I am spiritual. You are stupid. You don't know who you are, you are still confused. All of them bring confusion. Spirituality, religion. They bring confusion. That's all they can offer you. That's all they can give to you. They cannot give you clarity. They cannot give you true life. They cannot give you life of peace. It's always life of try and see, try and luck. Life of make-believe. I see some of my African brethren get upset, telling me, what are you saying? You don't understand spirituality. Come on, I don't need to understand spirituality. If spirituality is real, all of us supposed to enjoy it, having fun of it. When you bring hierarchy, when you bring division, when you bring destruction in the name of whatever you worship, you telling me people are suffering because they offended your God. They offended the gods of the land. Fuck that God. Fuck those gods of the land. People are suffering because people invaded and stole, kill, destroy what rightfully belonged to them. That's why they are suffering. Poverty is not a spiritual thing. Poverty is not a religious thing. Poverty is not even your fault. It is act of wickedness from man to man, another man. From wicked man to innocent man. We are not crying because we are weak. Yes, we are crying because we have lost our power. When we say lost, not lost forever, that we cannot come together again to use that power. It is not a power belonging to one particular person or one particular family. It belongs to all of us. When we come, when we unify, when we unite, when we gather together again, when we throw away division, when we throw away hatred, when we throw away all those evil that white men brought into our land, you will see that power naturally manifesting in and through us. We lost the touch of that power. They knew, that's why they separated us. They first came as guests, as spies, monitored us and saw how that power walks among us and said the only way we can stop these people is to separate them. That's what they recorded in Genesis chapter 11, 1 to 9. Read with understanding. Everything about Bible is how they invaded our land, took our land, and make us slaves. You can read it, Deuteronomy chapter 7 also. It's right there in their book. And they told you that book is the word of God. Don't question it. Don't question it. In other words, don't research it. That's why you see believers, they are too afraid to research their holy book. Because they tell them, if they do that, wrath of God will come upon them. Fuck that God. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, if you're a Jew, I say fuck that God and deliver yourself. Free yourself. That God does not exist. If you're a spiritualist, or you say you're practicing African traditional religion of spiritualism, trash that. Those things are garbage, all of them. They came to stain us. They came to mess us up. It's time you trash them and live your life humanly. There is no power greater than humanity. Humanity is all powerful. Humanity can do anything in this world. Why are we crying? I don't know how many of us that are crying. Oh, that cry. Have you ever cried from your sleep to reality? Have you done that? Oh, my people, being rich does not make you free. Having a job, having family, does not make you free. You have to free yourself so we can stop crying. See how all over the world we are crying. Black people are crying because of invasion, because of slavery. Not their fault. You say they are criminals. Tell me what pushed them into crime. You say they are stealing. Tell me who taught them to steal. You tell me they are looters. Told me who loot their own thing that keep them poor. Now they are looking for things to loot. They are looking for things to steal because you first invaded their land and took all that belongs to them and killed their ancestors. You say you free them after you enslave them and use them to build yourself, yet you gave them not back their land and you never allowed them to go back to their land. And I still hear some stupid people asking, what is the African Americans or those black people in diaspora doing for their motherland? What do you expect them to do? Their motherland cannot even welcome them, cannot even allow them to come back, because their motherland also is where white supremacy is enthroned. We must destroy white supremacy. We must destroy everything spirituality, religion, for us to live as a people again. It is your choice. If you say you will continue that way, okay, but personally, I'm awakened. But as for my people, I'm still crying for my people. I'm still crying because of what the condition they put us in. They made us slaves. They crossed land and sea to come and invade and destroy us. But no condition is permanent. The sun will shine again. We will rise and reign again and teach the world how to live in peace and in prosperity again for everyone.